Well, hello.
Well, hi there.
How you doing? Happy? No, we've been here since 2025. But how you doing? How's it going?
I think I'm well. I'd like to think that I'm doing well.
It's been a very interesting month and a half,
Oh,
right?
oh wow. It absolutely has.
Absolutely,
Absolutely has.
absolutely. Welcome, everybody coming in. Listen, we are on our members only chat on my main channel. You feel free to chat freely over on the Teacher Project 2.0. So meet us over there. If you are not a member on my main channel, you do not have to become a member. You can chat freely on the Teacher Project 2.0 channel. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, we have not been here in a while now. Again, if you go back to the video we did prior to inauguration, where we broke down the Department of Education, what the Department of Education does, and what would have to happen for him to shut the Department of Education down, we were pretty damn accurate, I think. What do you think, El Teddy?
When you're right as much as we are, you don't have to really brag about it. Um, we have been truth tellers and speaking truth to power for 5 years now.
We have.
5 years now. And I'm so grateful that when you first talked to me about doing this, of the opportunity to be a place and a source of information for all of the stakeholders, for all of those people invested in
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
involved in education. And that's not just people with students or work or people working in education, but that's everybody is a stakeholder in education. It touches everybody at some point. So um yeah, I'm just glad to be here and glad that we're here during a time such as this so that we can talk and yeah, mm, help
I'm
break up
gonna say
you
this.
know.
I'm trying to find if I can find excuse me, y'all. If I can find a rainbow, let's say a pot of gold at the end of this, I won't even call it a rainbow, child. I think people are finally learning what our government actually does. I think that people hear things and it sounds really good until they realize what it really controls. Oh, let's shut down the Department of Education. But wait a minute, I have a special needs child. What do you mean it could possibly take funding away from me? Wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to shut down the Department of Education. Wait a minute, my child's school is a Title I school. What do you mean? Yeah, let's shut down the Department of Ed. You know what I mean? Like, and I think people are starting to realize exactly what our government does and how all of the pieces are connected. Is there waste in government? Yes, there absolutely is. But you cannot just run a sweeping wand over the whole thing and expect for that to effectively work. Because it's like remember those mazes that used to be all intertwined and you had to find the
Mhm.
whatever? It's sort of like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got a lot to talk to you guys about today.
We
We're going to
do.
start with this TikTok video that had El Teddy seeing red. Listen, sometimes I wish y'all could see the group chats and the text messages. I can always tell in El Teddy's tone of text. I know y'all understand what I'm saying. Then there's a tone of text, okay? And when I
Mm.
could hear it in his tone of text that this video was making him see red. Okay.
Mm.
So we're gonna watch this video. Hold on. Let me pull it up, you guys. Give me a second. But here's a guy, and El Teddy said before we went live, El Teddy was like, I think he means well. However, a lot of his information was not accurate. And but some of it
Mhm.
was, but some of it was not. So we're gonna pull it up. We're gonna let you guys see it. Excuse me, y'all know I'm working through a bug over here, child. And y'all know my computer is slow as hell. Lord, this computer is so slow. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, while she's pulling that up, y'all, I don't think I was spiking all the way out, but I just hate that people now go to resources like Instagram and TikTok Shorts as their primary source or source of truth, and don't vet any of this stuff and take it as if it's gospel, as if it's written in the encyclopedia. And many
Mm-hmm.
times it has some good information, but oftentimes has some misinformation as well.
Yeah, and I think this is a good example of that. Like this, he started off going well, and then it went left, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I'm so sorry. This thing is taking forever. We might should have done this over on your computer because Lord have mercy, this thing is taking forever. Um, yeah, and I think unfortunately, I think that's the problem with where we are today as a society, that people get a piece of information and they think they can trust the source all the way through, and a part of it is accurate, but all of it is not accurate, and that's the problem. All right, y'all, I think we're good now. Hold on, let me share my screen.
I
I
thought
need
you was
some
gonna
throat
upload
coat
it to the
tea.
stream
Okay, well,
yard.
child, I guess I
Mm.
could have done that. I guess I could have done that, but we're gonna share my screen.
You're right, Shay W. People
Share
do
my
say
life.
if it's on the internet, it must be true, and that's so inaccurate. It's so inaccurate.
So inaccurate.
Um, and I'll say this. That's why when really B and I bring stuff to you, we do our best to vet stuff out and make sure that you can trust the things that we're bringing. And here's the video.
Are you ready?
Hmm.
All right, let's go. Hello.
That says JPEG. Really B.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me share it on
It
my.
says
You want me to do it
JPEG.
on my screen? I can probably share it on my screen. Hold on. You
Hmm.
want me to share it on
It's
mine?
right here though. Y'all can't see it. I wonder why it's not
It
opening
says
up.
no. Really B. You are when you hovered over it. It said JPEG, and it should see how it says JPEG. That's just a screenshot.
Oh well, I uploaded the whole thing. All right, yeah, do it on your screen. I'm sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. My bad. My apologies. While El Teddy's doing that, you wanted to do the other article, and
Hold
then we
on.
do that one while you're uploading. Huh?
Okay. Huh?
Is it going to take you long, or you want me to go ahead and do
No,
the
I
other
got it.
article?
I got it right here.
Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know my computer. It's a little crackish. Tracy said, "A lot. I don't care who tell it."
Hmm.
Yeah, it's coming up as a JPEG, but I didn't send it as a JPEG, so I don't know. Well, at least I didn't think I did. Let me say that I didn't think I said. Well, I wonder if it did that to the other articles because I just copied the link. I don't know. All right, what do I need to do?
All right. I think
Oh,
hopefully.
I see it. I see it.
Let me know if you can hear it. I don't know if the audio. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but it's low. Can you turn it up on your end?
Hold on. Can y'all hear it in the chat?
We can't hear. You got it paused now. We can't hear anything.
I know I'm saying could they hear it before? That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Oh, my
Let me
bad.
start it over. All right. It's low. I wonder if I need to bring it over here. I don't know why it's low. Hold on. Everything is up on my end. Hold on.
Let me turn it up. Let me see if I can turn my volume up. I don't know if that'll make a difference, but
Okay. I'll see what we can do. Let's see if this works. Is that better?
it's better. It's better. Go ahead.
Okay.
as Tim mentioned, giving them power to set educational standards. That's something that's left up to the states, right? Not requires that all schools and states that accept federal funding have to follow certain guidelines and standards, which essentially gives them control over what's being taught in schools and basically puts all states and schools on a one-size-fits-all education model. This means that students in places like Malibu, California, and rural Alabama are forced to follow the same curriculum and teaching methods, despite obvious economic and cultural differences that impact how students learn. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if the reading and math scores in the U.S. were on the rise, but it's the complete opposite. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, U.S. reading and math scores have dropped to the lowest level in decades. And the sad part, this isn't even a new trend. Based on the most recent assessment, reading scores have reached a historic low, with 33% of eighth graders reading below the lowest level. For fourth graders, the number is even higher, with 40% of fourth graders reading below the lowest level. That's the highest percentage in roughly 20 years. And what makes this worse is that the U.S. spends more money on education than almost every other country in the world by far. So this model clearly doesn't work. It's not something that you can just throw money at to fix. The other issue is college loan and grant funding. College has become completely unaffordable, and the current student loan debt in America is about 1.7 trillion. What most people fail to mention is that the reason that college is so expensive is because of the Department of Education. Why wouldn't the school continue to raise its prices if they know that the Department of Education is going to give students loans for any amount of money, and they're not tied to the performance of the student nor the performance of the school? It's free money. Removing the Department of Education will force colleges to lower tuition overnight because no students will be able to afford it otherwise, and those schools will go out of business. There are several colleges right now that don't accept federal funding, and their tuitions are way lower. Plus, their students experience way fewer issues when it comes to student debt when they graduate. There are also already states that have stepped up and started to offer student loans that are more affordable than what the federal government offers. So, yes, we have real-world examples of what this could look like with the Department of Education, and it came to be effective. Okay, so it was announced that the Department of Education
All right, let me
is on the
stop
chopping block to be shut down by
this.
the Trump administration. And some people.
All right. All right, let me. Yeah. Really be?
So here's my frustration. My frustration is he has a piece of the information and then he puts it with information that's not accurate. So for example, under was it No Child Left Behind? No, Common Core. Under Common Core, there was a thing where if you did not agree to teach Common Core standards, then you would be forfeiting federal money. However, teaching Common Core did not mean that the states did not have control over creating their own curriculums. It just meant that whatever curriculum you created had to include the Common Core standards. And I think for people who aren't in education and don't write lesson plans and don't write curriculum, they don't understand that that's two different things. Am I accurate? You agree with what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And because both of us have written curriculum, so we know there's a difference. But what a lot of people don't understand is that in 2025, don't nobody do Common Core. Like Common Core is a word of the like. No one's doing Common Core anymore. So that whole part of the conversation about oh well, if they don't teach this curriculum, there is no universal curriculum. They tried to make
Not at
universal
all.
standards. They tried to make universal standards, and the argument was if there were universal standards, then that meant that if a kid transferred from New York to Florida, they were learning the same standards. That did not mean that the curriculum was the same. So that information, not accurate. What do you think about the conversation, the information he gave about student loans and the cost of tuition? How you feel about that?
I think he has that wrong because the whole introduction of student loans and the federal government getting involved was because colleges were not doing what they were supposed to do. And they and then you have politicians involved with not wanting to have universal education like a lot of other modern countries have, mind you. And please don't expect it by any stretch of the imagination that we are going to some type of universal education or universal health care anytime in our lifetime, because that's not going to happen. And I also think it's really rich for him to utilize Texas as his example of a state that's doing these loans correctly. Really? Texas? The same Texas who we
when he
know
said Texas, baby, I said
all
what?
of their loans are attached
What?
to companies that line the pockets of the politicians in that country, in that company, state. You understand what I'm saying? The other part about it is, let's be clear, and we say this all the time on this channel. Y'all hear this from us all of the time. States do have their rights to have whatever curriculums they want, whatever standards they want. We have echoed that for years now. For somebody to, in the year of our Lord 2025, say that there's this blanket curriculum that the Department of Education decided on, they're delusional. Even if we go back to Common Core, that wasn't something that was initiated by the Department of Education. That was something that was initiated by independent states coming together. That's one.
Go ahead.
And the other point that I'm going to make it out, let you go from there, really be, is the purpose of the federal government having a Department of Education was to ensure that across the board there was funding that would be that would make it equitable for all children in this country. There wasn't any equity. There were students, like we talk about, that special ed students left in the closet to go fend for themselves in one state, and in other states they were funding them. There were states that did not feed children at all, and if they never brought lunch to school, they didn't eat. That's why we have things like the federal government, Title I. All of these things are to make it equitable for all students, not to dictate to the states. Rather, states have gone rogue nowadays, really, have they not? They're doing whatever the hell they want.
What I was going to say was, what's up, Star? What I was going to say was, if states had autonomy over if the curriculum was coming from the federal government, we wouldn't have had 70 to 80% of our content over the last 5 years. Because the reality of the situation is, this is what we've been screaming from the rooftops about. Florida and Texas and Virginia and Arkansas and Kentucky have been doing whatever the hell they want to do as it relates to curriculum. So if this was coming from the federal government, why are we talking about it? If it was a universal thing, why are textbook companies selling different books in Texas than they're selling in New York? If it was all one big universal curriculum, you know what I mean? Like, that's not accurate. Oh, and congratulations to you, Star, on your Philadelphia Eagles, boo. So the reality is, and going back to the thing about colleges, sir, at the end of the day, we still live in a capitalistic society. And when you're dealing with capitalism, it is all about supply and demand. It is all about what they can and can't charge. It is not controlled by federal government student loans. And like you said, that is in other countries. There's a universal education system. There is no universal education system here in the United States. That is not how it works here. And certainly not on the collegiate level. So for you to say, if we got rid of the Department of Education and all of a sudden tuition prices would drop. No, actually the exact opposite would happen. That number one, not only would tuition prices not drop, but again, we wouldn't even know what the hell is going on at these schools. The accreditation for these colleges comes through the federal government. I mean, there are different areas that accredit, colleges, but the standards are set by the federal government. You know what I'm saying? So it is frustrating when I hear people say these things, because then what happens is you have people go, oh, well, maybe getting rid of the Department of Education isn't a bad idea. And I'm like, yeah, actually it is. Because like El Teddy said, if you go back prior to 1979, if you had a special needs child, guess what? They could put them out of school with little to no recourse. They could just say, hey, we can't teach your child. Your child is nonverbal. There's nothing we can do. Send them home. Maybe you can find, a hospital, I'll put that in air quotes, where you can send them. If your child was LGBTQIA, no, we're going to put them out. Something wrong with them. Woo-woo, they're a little cuckoo. If your child was a behavior problem, oh, no, your child's disrespectful, get them out of here. Like, all of the things that parents lean into right now came from the Department of Education. IDEA came from the department. It came through the Department of Education. Do you think that the schools just woke up one day and said, "Oh, we need to do right by right? We need to do right by these babies. We need to do right by our special ed kids." Do you think that's what they did? Right? As Brian, mainstreaming, like all of these things were regulated after the Department of Education was put in place, because schools were not required to do those things. So again, you guys think, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about the people that's buying into it, think it's just a bunch of bureaucracy and a bunch of wasted money, when that's not what it is. There's actually, now again, we can concede that that government waste exists. I think we can all concede that. But going in and just saying we're going to shut down everything that we don't deem important, that's not the way to do it. And the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to shut up, LT, I am. The last thing I'm going to say is, you guys, the people that are buying, and I'm talking to the people that are buying into this bull hockey, you guys have to really think about why does Donald Trump want to get rid of the like, y'all have to ask yourselves why he wants to get rid of these things. Because at the end of the day, he never wants us to be smart enough for the revolution. Can I say it? I'm sorry. Did I say it? I'm gonna shut up. I'm done.
The interesting thing about it is, really, what's so very interesting is we have been a marginalized group of individuals who they've tried not to educate, and even in their failed attempts at not educating us, we still have been better. We still have invented more. We still have been more responsible for everything that this species has. That's the laughable part of it, because here we are. Here the hell we are. And I think we have an article on what they're trying to do with the Department of Education.
You want me to
So
pull that one up?
I reserve my next commentary on that, because I have a lot to say. But that video kind of incensed me, because like
I might need your help today with the reading, because
Okay, did you send them to me?
You have them. You sent them to me.
I know, but I texted them to you. Okay, God.
All right, which one do you want me to do first? How you want me to do education / funding, or which one do you want me to do?
Let's do the one that says the one from Politico.
Okay, got it. I'll forward it to you now. I can go ahead and get started, but in case I get, caught up. All right. I'll forward it to you now. Sorry, but my bad. All right. I know I usually don't have no problem, but today I'm a little stuffy. All right. So this article is coming from Politico. Now, we were going to do a show last week. Y'all know normally our articles are like the day of, but this one may be about a week old, or some of them may be a week old, because y'all know we were going to do a show last week and we just couldn't make it happen. So just so you know, but y'all know our articles are usually pretty much up to date. So I'll put the link in the chat. So this article is coming from Politico. Doge announces $881 million in cuts for education department contracts. All right, here we go. Hold on, let me put the link in the chat, and then we're going to go. Oh, wait a minute. Lord have mercy. Okay. Child, me and this computer gonna fight. All right.
I have it up if you
I
okay, go ahead.
restarted everything. I rebooted everything. I don't know. I tried to delete everything. I guess it's just old. The baby just old. Okay. Education Department funds for diversity programs and research initiatives will dry up, according to a series of announcements Monday night about the agency's future. The department terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million, according to a Twitter post from the Department of Government Efficiency. I'm not calling it X. But Doge did not say which contracts were ended. In a separate post, Doge said the department also terminated 29 trainee grants for diversity, equity, and inclusion that total $101 million. One of the grants sought to train teachers to help students understand and interrogate the complex histories involved in oppression and help students recognize areas of privilege and power on an individual and collective bias, according to the post. The American Institute for Research, a nonprofit organization that conducts behavioral and social science research, confirmed it received multiple notices of termination on Monday for several IES contracts. IES is a nonpartisan research arm of the department that studies special education and student learning outcomes, among other topics. The money that has been invested in research, data, and evaluation that are nearing completion is now getting the taxpayers no return on their investment. Dana Tofig, an AIR spokesperson, said in the statement Monday, if the point of this exercise is to make sure taxpayer dollars are not wasted and are used well, the evaluation and data work that has been terminated is exactly the work that determines which programs are effective use of federal dollars and which are not. The department and Doge did not immediately respond to requests for comment. All right. Go ahead, El Teddy.
Here's the thing. You do know that the Department of Education has an inspector general. I just want to start there. The Department of Education has an inspector general. You know what the responsibility of the inspector general is? To be nonpartisan, to go through the department and make sure that there's no government waste, that there's no overspending, that laws are being followed, that they are fulfilling the duties and responsibilities of the jobs and tasks that they have. That sounds conveniently a lot like the Department of Government Efficiency. Only difference is none of the people down to the Department of Government Efficiency were vetted by Article 1, which is the Congress, which has oversight over these governmental agencies. This clandestine department was not voted on or sanctioned by Congress. It's
illegal.
They're going in and dictating what to do with money that Congress has allocated, but they have there's no oversight of this clandestine or agency to Congress. So you have a nefarious or entity that is coming in and doing whatever they want. They're just doing whatever they want. Now, what Congress is banking on, here's where it's going to get scary, okay? Congress is banking on the judiciary to be on its side and to say this is illegal. I want to, and that may very well happen. But some of you all may be old enough to remember the 60s and 70s. Now, what happened in the 60s and early 70s, late 60s, I should say, and early 70s? A lot of states started to have schools integrated. You notice I said late 60s, early 70s. I said that because, really, remind the people what year Brown v. Board of Education had its ruling.
1954.
1954. We're talking more than a decade before there was real enforcement of what the courts had said. We had year after year after year after year after year after year of governors and states and politicians all over the country that gave a big middle finger to the judiciary and what they had decided. They didn't give a damn. They just didn't. And if we're sitting here as Congress just waiting for this to happen, that the judiciary is going to fix it all, yeah, they may have a court ruling, but you still have to rely on people in positions of power obeying those court rulings. And I don't know that in this 4 years, if we're going off of that, off of the history of this country really being, Donald John could be well out of office or dead, and they still not be obeying these court rulings, and they could just run roughshod. This is all determined on people holding fast to traditions and holding fast to doing the right things. Ask the people in Alabama about Bull Connor.
Oh,
Ask
we were just
the
talking
people,
about Bull. We were just talking about Bull Connor in my class last week.
Ask the people in the South about, well, think about Emancipation Proclamation.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I don't know why my Google spreadsheet is showing up for you guys. I'm getting the notifications. That's work stuff. I have no idea why my work stuff is sending you guys. I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to decline them because that's work shit. I'm going to decline it. I don't know. I don't know what it is, y'all. It's not something for the teacher project. It is something for my real job. So I don't know what that is. I don't know why I'm sending it out. I'm getting the notifications and I'm like, what's going on? So if you get the notification, just decline it. I'm going to decline it on my end. I have no idea why you guys are getting that. Tracy got it. TC got it. I have no idea why I'm sending it to y'all. So just decline it, please. And I'm going to decline it on my end. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, and that's my point. So I'm bringing it back home to the Department of Education, right? The Department of Education, I feel the same thing that we've seen happen to USAID is about to happen to the Department of Education. Let's be clear.
Oh, that's the link I put in the chat. Oh, okay. My bad. Y'all put the wrong link in the chat. Oh, okay. Thank y'all for telling me that. Oh, I did. Okay, let me delete that link. Sorry, y'all.
That's so what happens is USAID, a voted on agency of this government, was basically told you're no more. They took the signs off the build. They literally took the signs off the building. The signs that stand up on the street corner, they took black tape and put black tape over the whole department. You think that they can't do that to the Department of Education? And y'all might say, well, what does that mean? Here's what it means. What Donald John and Republican governors want to happen with all of that money, they just want Republican states to be given, here's a lump sum of money for education. Do with it what you wish. And the purpose of the Department of Education is not to do that, because given a lump sum of money and left to themselves, we've seen these people launder money. These people funnel money into different companies that they have, and the hell we saw with Brett Favre. Those are what he did with SNAP funds. Remember that? You think that if they give all of these states a lump sum of money, or like Symmetry said, block grants, for education, that they're not going to do nefarious things with them. Hell, they will use that money to disenfranchise our students. They will use that money to make sure that there's no education that benefits our students, that all of the money gets funneled into all of their neighborhoods, and then they have these school choice vouchers and all of this other garbage that you'll see them lean harder into. This is about to become a nightmare. And with Congress sitting back looking for somebody to help them, looking for the judiciary to help them out, we're all left out high and dry. Just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You want to go into the next article?
Mm-hmm.
He said, mm-hmm. Which one? I sent all of them to you, I think. Which one you want to do next? And thank you for the Cash App. I'll make sure I'll send half of it to El Teddy. Thank you so much for the person that sent us the Cash App. I appreciate it.
Let's do the one on higher education group, Sue. Since
all
I was
right.
just talking about the legal system.
Right. We were talking about the legal. All right, let's do it. I'll make sure I put the right link in the chat this time. Yeah, that's what I put the wrong link. My bad, y'all. I was doing work before I started doing this. My bad. I thought I had copied the link and I did not. All right, make sure I copy this time. Copy. Okay. I think I was rushing the last time. Paste. Make sure. Okay, it's the right one this time. All right. Governor Hot Wheels will definitely line his pockets. Oh, absolutely, child. Wait a minute, what? It says access to this page has been denied. Do you have to have
the one from the Hill?
Yeah, well, you read it because it's not letting me. Do you have a subscription to the Hill? Why is it not giving me access?
The link that you put in the that you emailed.
All right, well, go ahead and read it because it's not letting me. It's saying my access is denied.
It says higher education groups sue Trump over anti-diversity orders. Higher education groups are suing the Trump administration over its executive orders eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion positions in government, and is threatening the loss of funding to institutions over the issue. The National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Education and the American Association of University Professors, along with the city of Baltimore and a restaurant group, are asking the courts to block the implementation of the executive orders due to President Trump allegedly exceeding his authority under the Constitution. The executive orders Trump signed seek to remove all DEI programs and positions from the federal government and institutions connected to the government that receive federal funding. Quote, in the United States, there is no king. The president can exercise only those powers the Constitution grants to the executive, and only in ways do not violate the rights the Constitution grants to the American people. In his crusade to erase diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility from our country, President Trump cannot usurp Congress's exclusive power of the purse, nor can he silence those who disagree with him by threatening them with the loss of federal funds and other enforcement actions, end of quote. And that's according to the lawsuit. Trump has threatened civil investigations and loss of funding to get institutions to comply, and has called for investigation into DEI against schools with endowments more than $1 billion. The Department of Education and other agencies will have to recommend, quote, appropriate measures to encourage the private sector to end illegal discrimination and preferences, including DEI, end of quote. Dozens of employees with the education department have been put on administrative leave due to Trump's DEI executive orders, with the union representing the staffers saying many of them attended a DEI training hosted in 2019 during his first administration. That's the end.
This man got more lawsuits. It's ridiculous. I don't. Oh Lord.
What say you, ma'am?
I honestly, I'm sick of it. Like, I understand that. I mean, short of a revolution, which I think that's what we're headed to. But like, short of a revolution, there's just not a lot. I mean, suing. Yeah, great. But I'm tired. I'm tired. Just the blatant breaking of the law. It's just so. It's exhausting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so blatant. It is. It's just so blatant, and I'm just tired. You know. And honestly, that's why I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy for anybody that is saying anything other than revolution. I don't have the energy for you. I just don't. I don't want to hear, well, I didn't know. You did know. What you thought was it was gonna be everybody but you. That's what you thought. Cause the little Google machine before it was corrupted, by Daddy Dumpy Pants. I'm gonna start calling him Daddy Dumpy Pants. This lady on Twitter calls him Daddy Dumpy Pants, and I crack up every time. But the fact that you thought it meant everybody but you. That's what you thought. So it didn't matter if it was going to hurt us. You thought it was going to skip over you. So now that it's hurting you, now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, wait a minute, I don't know what he was going to do. He told you what he was going to do. He wrote a 900-page manifesto. Shit. I'm tired. El Teddy, I was going to call you by your legal name. You know I mean it when I call you by your legal name. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Lord knows I'm tired. Options are few. Go ahead.
And it's so funny. I think we can lump in even the last article into the article that we read, because the last article simply talks about how dozens of employees from the Department of Education were placed on administrative leave last week for attending that DEI conference in 2019 when he was president.
When you were president, idiot, you were the president. Stupid.
Here's where we are. Here is where we are. I'm afraid for members of or I should say employees of the DOE, the Department of Education, because it sounds cute when we read it and talk about, oh, this will be worked out in courts, but these are people who have real lives, real livelihoods, who have
friends
money
that are literally being affected in real time. I have friends that work for, like, I'm in DC. I have friends who work for these agencies that literally are dealing with this in real time. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's an article that we're reading, but I literally have friends that are dealing with this in real time. Don't know from day to day if they have a job, if they need to show up for work, if they don't need to show up for work, do they have to go in the office? Can they still work remotely? Like, they literally are in limbo right now.
And here, so you have people who's looking at whether or not they're going to get money, be paid, have a job, not have a job, have family lives, livelihoods. We have school districts who depend on the DOE to help with things like salaries, help with things, you know what I'm saying? This is payroll, help with things like keeping electricity on. Y'all may think I'm being hyperbolic or being an alarmist. This is real.
Listen, my salary comes out of Title I. When my principal did the budget last year, because I do Title I at my school, even though I teach social studies, I'll tell you understand about budgets. In order for him to be able to hire another social studies teacher, because I do Title I, he pushed me over to the Title I budget. So technically, not technically. So literally, my salary comes out of our Title I budget. If Title I goes away next year, my principal has to redo all of that. And people are going to lose jobs because there's about 4 or 5 of us that are on the Title I budget for my school. That doesn't include my whole county, which there are multiple Title I schools in my county. That doesn't include DC, Montgomery County, St. Charles, like all of the surrounding counties. Like, it's crazy. This is real
Now,
shit.
and we're also talking about doing budgets and discretionary funds that you move things around. There are a lot of things that parents take for granted that the school does that operates only because of federal dollars and federal funding. Yes, the states give money, but I'm telling you, you cannot, there's not a state in this country, as much as they would like to threaten or as much as they'd like to believe that they could get away from federal dollars with DOE, they cannot. They cannot at all. When you couple the fact that these people are trying to dismantle the DOE, and you couple that also with the fact that we are careening toward March 15th, about a month from now, literally 30 days from now, will be March 14th, I should say. You know what happens on March 14th? That is the date of the next impending government shutdown. And we have people in politics playing politics with people's monies, welfare, well-being, talking about people gonna have to take furloughs while they have political theater. And we have people just playing games with people's lives. So now you're playing with people's pockets and purses and wallets all over the place. Then you're talking about threatening the money and financial well-being of schools all over the country. Then you're saying you're going to dismantle the DOE as we know it. And to add insult to injury, you want to put Linda McMahon as the Secretary of Education. The woman who all we know about her is she is with her husband on WWE, and she sat back, according to allegations and lawsuits, she sat back and watched children get assaulted in a sexual manner and did nothing about it. Sat back and said nothing about women being assaulted in a sexual manner and said nothing about it. No ties to education. Even Betsy DeVos, who we could not stand, had some type of tie to some portion of education. We didn't like it. We weren't here for it. But, at least she had private school and, charter school. This woman has nothing attaching herself to.
She was elected to the school board in her Connecticut, upper echelon Connecticut town, where I'm sure her kids never set foot in a public school. But okay.
Here we are. Here the hell we are. And what I know myself and really be, what we're going to commit ourselves to doing is, I'm just saying this, and I haven't even talked to her about it, so she might
say what we committing to doing. But I probably agree. Whatever it is, I probably agree.
I can speak on behalf of Really Be to say we will commit ourselves to not only bringing you information, but to when and if we find solutions or alternatives or things, that can help you, your household, your family, alternatives to any types of programs that may go away because of this. We certainly will bring those to you and make you aware of what they are, so that we can minimize or mitigate the lapses in education that we're about to experience. We
Yeah, because
definitely
you see
the
little
community.
Eldridge Cleaver in the corner asking what we could do, give someone that's trying to educate themselves about what's coming. You see Eldridge Cleaver over there, aka Tracy.
Oh,
You see, I put her comment up there.
I ain't even see. I wasn't even reading. Listen, what all we can tell you is keep coming over here to Teacher Project 2.0, where we will certainly inform you of
Absolutely,
what's
keep
going on.
coming.
But
And I want to say this. We have 142 people between both channels. We only need like 130 subscribers on the Teacher Project to get to 1K. So if you are not subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0, if you guys could just go on over there and hit that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay. And yeah, that's what we're here to do, you guys. I've said this a million times. We had one vision for this podcast, and then the pandemic took us in a whole different direction. And we have been more about educating. So when Tracy says, what suggestions can we give, we're gonna give what we can, when we can, and how we can do it. Honestly, and I can't speak for El Teddy, I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't have a lot right now. I just don't. I mean, other than the obvious, right? But like El Teddy said, we will definitely. Thank you, Fran. Fran said she's gonna sub from her spam pages too. Thank you, boo. We're gonna absolutely continue to bring you that information. And we'll be here on a more consistent basis. I'll commit to that because usually it's me, not him. But y'all know I've been working an extra job at work, my Title I job, and doing a lot of moving around. So we're gonna get it together, and we're gonna be here more regularly to give you guys this information. Fran said, I feel having a career in education, or at least children in public schools, should be a requirement to sit on a school board. I think so too. Andrew says, it may be a lot to ask, but is there a newsletter of some sort we can read? My anxiety is really bad when I listen to these atrocities happening. However, it's much more manageable when I read it. Well, that's why I put the links in the chat so you guys can go back at your own leisure. What I used to do was put the links in the description box. I can go back to doing that. I can go back to putting the links for the articles in the description box. And that way, if you're watching it and it gets to be too much, you can always go back and get the links out of the description.
There are a couple websites, if that's what you're looking for, Andrew, that try to keep you informed on education news. I know edweek.org is one that's a really good source. It's called edweek.org, edweek.org. That's one. There's what is it? Chalk Talk, really being.
Chalk Talk is a good one as well.
Chalk Talk. Let me give you the exact. I don't want to give you the wrong.
Your form said they read Substack. I mean, I had to check out Substack. I know a lot of people are on
Substack
now.
is really good. Substack is really good.
Yeah, I gotta check
Substack. But Chalk Talk is more for people in education. Than for people that are not in education. What's another one that I frequent? My mind just went blank. My mind just went blank. Hold on. I have a lot of these saved in my
we can always put it on our community wall.
Yeah.
If we think of more, we'll add it to our community wall. So when you guys are subscribed to the Teacher Project 2.0, make sure you get notifications. And when we put stuff on the community wall, you guys can get it. So as we think of things, we'll add it to the community wall. And if like I said, we're gonna
74million.org. That's what it was. It just came to me. Sorry. The 74million.org is another good one. It's the 74million.org, and 74 are the numbers. The THE74million.org is another one that I go to as well. But edweek.org and the 74million.org is also a good one.
Yep. All right, you guys, we try to keep it to an hour. It has been an hour. Again, we could do this all day because, like El Teddy said at the beginning, it's so much stuff. Every day is something different. It's something new. We could be here all night. So we will definitely. I'm gonna be on travel next week, but I'm gonna make it happen. It may not be on Wednesday, but I'll make it happen one day next week. Because
where is you going?
This is for work. This is Title One. I'm going to a Title One conference.
Oh yeah, you
I'm
did
surprised
tell
it
me
didn't get
about that.
canceled. I'm going to a Title One conference. I'll be gone. I'll be gone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be back either I think Thursday night or Friday morning. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm gonna be down in Texas. I'm gonna be down in Texas.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah, so that is next week. So and then after that, I'll be home until our event that we're going to be doing. That's at the beginning of April, and then the Boss Babe Awards is at the that's in April as well. And then, baby, I'll be home.
Oh, yeah. We do have an event in the beginning of April. I forgot.
Yeah, and then I'll be.
When you said that, I was like, oh.
Right.
We're not going to tell you what it is yet. When we get all of the information, stay tuned because your two favorite hosts here have some exciting news. We don't want to tell you yet until we have everything finalized. And once we have everything finalized, we'll talk to y'all about it and tell y'all what. Yeah, some exciting news that we'll be doing.
Quake, inbox me on Instagram, okay? Please. Okay. Yeah, I did kind of already spill the tea, but I ain't give them all the details yet. But I did sort of spill the tea a little bit. I was excitable. I was so excitable, El Teddy. I was excitable. Shout out. But we're gonna we'll have when we get all of the details, we'll share you guys, and we'll definitely have a reel of footage and everything to share with you guys. Okay. All right, y'all. We about to get out of here. Mwah. Not Jonathan gonna bring talking about something tomorrow ain't promised. I'm not doing that.
Well, if it ain't promised, but we won't be doing it now, will we?
Right. Okay. Don't do that. Jonathan, goodbye. With that being said, y'all, I'm out. We out of here.
Bye,
Crazy so. Talk about some tomorrow ain't promised. I'm not doing that with you, Pat.